The topic is team over self. It's something that we believe in here at CAC. It's closely related, in my opinion, to leave your ego at the door. It's where we think about the team needs over our own, where we bring ourselves and our knowledge into a team environment where we can help others out and use our skill sets to help others, or take from other people and broaden our own knowledge and horizons to the design world. So it's about communication, where if you don't communicate with somebody your ideas or thoughts, even how stupid or bad you think they are, or how not applicable they are to the design, just sharing your ideas, any idea, is valuable to the conversation, just to get stuff out there and to change mindsets and to just create a more diverse design playing field. The more we communicate with each other, the more trust we build in each other, and the more we feel open to reveal or talk about design and come up with different processes or solutions to a certain design problem. So there's a good article or study found that sports teams that communicate more and like touch each other more in high fives actually have a higher winning percentage than teams that don't. And it makes sense because teams that like each other are talking more and touching more, giving each other high fives, then they tend to succeed more than teams that don't believe in each other. Yeah. So, yeah.
Team before self. How do you implement that personally?
How do I implement that? I try to either ask questions or bring up different solutions. Even when I'm not working on a project and somebody's talking about something or asking a question, I sometimes chime in, even too much, or I'll state an opinion that might not, I think might not be well received, but just to do it and to try to ask more questions and to try to answer questions from people, even if I'm not in a great mood or don't want to answer a silly question, just getting into the repetition of helping out others or trying to get others to help out you. If I have an embarrassing question that I don't know, it's still nice to ask somebody just to try to get an answer or just a different opinion on something.
Like what?
So
what's an example of a?
Just asking something about like where something in the code or something about a project that's clearly visible in a drawing that I might have missed, or just like a Revit question that I could look up on the internet, but it's easier to just ask somebody behind me or in front of me or around me. But Google is part of the team, and you can Google things. It's okay. We can use the technology. The technology is part of our organization, our team.
Do you think the team over self could be implemented in like our larger design team besides just us in the office? So between like us and other consultants and contractors and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a great question and it's helpful to bring in consultants and like owners and OPMs or whatever in the project as early as possible and to keep up the communication. Because if there are a lot of changes are being made in the design process here at our firm, and we might see something that we haven't seen in a while, or might come across something in a project that we forgot about and then change it up. And if that doesn't get seen by consultants or the owner or developer sooner rather than later, then it could affect a project in the long run. So just keeping everything open and scheduling meetings regularly, or just bringing in people in a project earlier can be beneficial in the long run to the team, instead of hiding things and then revealing them at the last second and being like, you didn't do your work. It's not a healthy team environment.
Can you be too selfless to be actually a liability then? Yeah.
I think definitely if you're deferring a lot of things onto other people, or if you need somebody too much, and that's kind of like if you're selfless too much, then that kind of makes you inherently selfish. If you're like taking things from other people or like putting things on other people, then that's sort of selfish in nature. So yeah, it's all about a balance of getting your work done while also keeping an open mindset and communicating with other people. So yeah, it's definitely a balance between selfishly doing your own work and like keeping your own ideas, and selflessly taking from others and giving back to other people.
So team over self is kind of like an idealized concept, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What is like the opposite of that? What's the antithesis of team over self?
The Starchitect is the opposite of team over self, where you get a firm that even one person that not necessarily takes all the glory, but will work on a project at the very beginning and just do the fun design stuff, the overall schematic design, and then hand it off to a team that doesn't necessarily get as much recognition on the back end, where the one architect or designer gets either the praise, or you see most of the impact done on the earlier side from the one person or small team.
So how do you think CAC specifically satisfies your want or need for team before self? How do you think we excel at that?
Well, CAC excels at team over self because we try to include everybody on all projects, even though we're split up into kind of two different categories. Lower level designers are working with the architect and the project managers from the beginning almost all the way until the end, going to meetings and really having an input on design. Even though we, as a designer, we're not necessarily the most experienced. We don't have like the vast knowledge of different projects and problems. But we, as young people, we can, and just people in general, we can still impact a project for the better. And then it helps us learn quicker and to get in on projects from start to finish. So that's where CAC really takes team over self to the next level, where everybody is involved. Everybody has an input on the project. It's not just like people can have, like, one person might have the final say, but it's not without other people's input and thinking about everybody's ideas and decisions.
Okay. I'm an owner.
Yeah.
I'm coming to you for design services.
Yeah.
How does team over self bring value to my project?
So as somebody from the outside who has a project in mind, team over self is great because you can go into the project with your own ideas and know that you can be heard instead of just handing it off to the architect or to the team and saying free reign. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. We can make decisions on our own, but we'll definitely take input from everybody in the field or the owner or anybody to get the project to where everybody wants it to be. I mean, we have ideas of what we think is best design, but we're not going to be the ones we're not going to be the end user of the building or project. So your input or the owner's input is really, it's probably the most important input that we take into consideration.
Yeah.
Was that good?
Yeah.